Good evening, everybody. Welcome to this Battleground War Room, episode number 2. Yes, guys, unfortunately, we're not live. Technical issues. I blame Joel Gertner for it. But, guys, I want to give you guys a quick recap of what we have so far in regards to Battleground as they make their return to the 2300 Arena coming up on October 25th. We'll start off with this one. Crowbar takes on Gangrel for the World Heavyweight Championship. Drake Younger takes on Shane Mercer for the BCW Philadelphia Street Fight. In tag team action, the Powers of Pain take on Blackout. We also got Masada taking on Too Cold Scorpio. Phil Insane takes on Matt Tremont. Apparently ESPN likes that. And Danny Doring actually takes on our guest. I've had him on Around the Ropes before, but for the first time on Battleground War Room, welcome to the show, the ECW King himself, Mr. Alvin Alvarez. Alvin, welcome to the show. How you been, my friend?
I'm okay, John. The one and only ECW King is here for the War Room. I'm excited for this War Room layout. I mean, I heard Tim talking about it, heard you talking about it, so I'm excited to see what it's about, and I'm excited to answer some questions.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. And you got a lot of stuff coming up. You have a lot of stuff coming up, a lot of big matches. And obviously, we'll get to the NWA stuff in a second because that's a big match. But I want to look at what's going on with you with Battleground, because fans of Battleground, you've kind of been, to put this in the nicest way possible, you haven't really been a fan favorite.
Yeah.
For a while. Going back to the last show, when you were in the ring with Tim and he handed you the contract, what was going through your mind? Kind of just take us through, like, what was going through your mind when he was handing that to you?
Well, when it was handed to me, I was excited because, remember, I lost the match.
Yes.
So the details of the match, if I lost, I was gone. So once I heard the 3 and I kind of went to get my shoulder up and I saw referee John raise Ken's hand, I was like, oh, man, I'm done. That's it. So if you see the reaction on my face, it was like, I'm done. So he came in the ring, and I'm like, all right, if you notice, I started taking my boots off, started taking my wrist tape off. I was going to shake his hand. See you, man. I was hitting my car, and I was going to head back to Long Island. That was it for Battleground. But no, he stopped me, and he said, hold on a second. And he said, the fans think different. You know, the fans actually respect you, and they think different of you, and we want to keep you around. And that was just shocking. So my reaction initially when he handed me the contract, it was shocking. I was excited. Like, it just flipped you know, if you have a bad day and all of a sudden something good just happens, you know? So it's one of those, like, it's a rainy day, I have to change a tire, but then all of a sudden here comes my girlfriend with, like, a big pizza, you know? It's like something awesome that just happens, you know? So stuff like that. It was something cool that was like, oh, man, I'm staying. Like, I'm not leaving, you know? So it was excitement and just – but now the hard work starts, you know, John? So now it really starts. So now I've got the contract, but now really the hard work starts, which we'll get into.
Well, now let me ask you this now. Now, because of the fact of what happened, now obviously, you know, and fans or watchers may not know the stipulation going to that match, you were taking on Mr. Anderson, and it was supposed to be your first match back in over a year because of your knee injury, which we talked about, obviously, when you were on with us on Around the Ropes.
Yep.
And so obviously the stipulation was if you lost, you were gone. That was it.
Yep.
You know, take care, wash your hair, you know.
Yeah.
Throw that into the air. But then all of a sudden, you got the contract. Do you think that was because of the fact that the fans were really behind you, or what do you think kind of led that?
I think 100% because when I got pinned, I did notice the, like, silence for a second. Usually when I get beat, crowd goes crazy because they want to see me get my ass kicked. So usually when I get beat, it's a 1-2. Yes, I haven't lost. Get them out of here, you know. But when it was 1-2-3, it was like silent. It wasn't the cheers or boos. And for a wrestler, that's weird to get like silence. You know, we usually get cheers, boos, but the silence was different. And then I don't know if you were there, John, if you were there live in July, but right after the silence maybe lasted about 10 seconds. And then it started to slowly cheer. And then that's when Tim got in the ring. And then it slowly started hearing a little more cheers. And I'm like, I think the fans are trying to keep me here, you know? So it was almost, John, I can't explain, John. So many feelings in like maybe what did the segment last? 5 minutes from the end of the match to when we walked to the back, and maybe it was 5 minutes. For those 5 minutes, I went through 10 different emotions. Sad to happy to excited to I don't know. I don't know how to feel right now, you know, to a lot of those, which just I think to answer your question, John, I think it was the fans. I think the fans really kept me. I think Tim heard the fans throughout the match. He sat ringside the entire time. And I think he heard the fans, and he's like, you know what? I can't lose this guy. I think there's something behind him. I think we could do something with him, and the fans kept me. So thankful to the Philadelphia audience. And, John, that Philadelphia audience is tough to get behind. You know, you saw them at AEW. AEW was just there. They gave guys a hard time. Like, if you're a baby face, quote unquote, and you're not a good wrestler, they will shit. Sorry, my language. They will crap all over you. You know what I'm saying? They will not take it. So you have to be good at what you do to earn the fans' respect, especially in Philadelphia.
Well, they always say if you can make it in certain cities like Boston, Philly, New York, Chicago,
yep,
any of the big cities, or it's almost like going to the Frank Sinatra song. If you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere.
Exactly.
It's the same thing you put with Philly or Boston,
Chicago, now, all three.
Obviously, now you got the contract. Do you still talk to Joel at all?
I haven't actually said a word to him. You know, I messaged him when he was fired. I said, "Hey, man, sorry everything happened." He responded. He's like, "Hey, it is what it is. You know, move on with our careers." And haven't spoken with him since. You know, we small talk here and there, previous to the firing, but since I haven't really spoken, so I don't know. I'm not sure. So
all right, now you know, especially with the amount of, with the times you've been on with me on the regular show, that I put guests on the spot.
Of course.
And I'm going to put you on the spot right now.
Throw it at me.
Do you think Joel held you back at all?
Oh, John, good question. Oh, man. Do I think he held me back? No. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. Now, the fans think he did. And I think if you poll a lot of the audience, they'll say, yes, he did. I don't, because when I came into Battleground back in, it was December of 2023 when I first debuted for Battleground. Actually, sorry, December 2022 was when I first came into Battleground. And right then, Joel kind of took me under his wing. So he taught me a lot about the wrestling business. He taught me a lot of how just to express myself.
Yeah.
So he helped me a lot early on, and the Sex Suite Next Express, I can't forget those guys. Still good friends with Christian Ross, still good friends with the Playboy. So those guys I'll never forget. I had a lot of fun. So I say he definitely helped my career. Towards the end, you could see the crowd kind of wanted me but hated him. So towards the end, maybe it started to shift. Like, if we were still together now, I would say, yeah, he's more of a detriment than an asset. But for the first 2 years of my Battleground career, he definitely was an asset.
Now, obviously, we talked about this before. You were in the ring with Mr. Anderson, a legend in this. What was it like working with him? And kind of just take us through those early moments when you first stepped into the ring. It was your first time back in over a year. Did you have? I guess what I'm trying to ask is, did you have any thought in your head going when you entered into that ring, and you were standing literally across from him, like, do I still have this? Coming off the injury.
Yes, and that's all that was on my mind was do I still have this? Because now I'm going in with Ken Anderson, I'm going in with a legend, former world's champion. That on itself is preparation enough. Prepared for his moveset, prepared what to do, prepared on this situation, that situation. Getting prepared for an ex-WWE TNA superstar is hard on itself. But now I'm coming back from a career-ending injury, which is another tenfold. So my mind was on Ken Anderson a little bit, maybe 30%, but the other 70%, John, was, can I still do this? Did I train? Yes. I was able to get in the ring at Remarkable Pro Wrestling. Shout out to Remarkable. Shout out to Kono, Brother Greatness, Gabriel Sky. Shout out to those guys, Remarkable, because those guys got me ready. So was I in the ring before? I was. Did I do my moves? Did I do a match? I did. But that's nothing. I know, John, you haven't been actually in the ring, but to any wrestlers who are watching this, training session and training match is night and day from a show match and a show day. So it's a whole different preparation. It's a whole different outlook. So honestly, 70% of my mind, John, was, can I still do this? Am I able to go? And towards the end of the match, I was feeling it because I haven't gone 15, 20 minutes in a while. So I was feeling it, and it was tough to get him and get to my moveset and really hit it. And I think that's why I might have lost, because I was so focused on, can I do this, that I wasn't really focused on his moveset, and he countered my suplex. I was going for my Falcon Arrow, and he countered it into the small package. So so a lot of it was worried about the injury, but now that I got the injury over and I started getting matches under my belt, now I'm back to my normal self. So now I'm okay. Now the train is running, John.
Oh, believe me, I totally get it. And
Oh yeah.
Seeing what you came from and what you've had to overcome. Now that you have this match basically, behind you now, you have a few matches now since before PCW returns.
Mm-hmm.
You almost now have, and going back to the whole contract thing, yes, Tim did give you the contract, but he didn't make the first test post-contract so easy. And I say that for this reason.
Yeah.
Because you have Danny Doring, who is a legend in that building. You're sort of like walking into, I'm trying to get best I can describe this. You're walking into enemies, you're walking into somebody who made a name for himself in that building.
Yeah.
What's going through your mind? I know you're saying before, working with Mr. Anderson is one thing, but you're working with somebody now who, if it wasn't for ECW and that building, he wouldn't be the legend that he is now. So kind of just take us through what's going through your mind with this.
Well, John, when I came up with the ECW King moniker, it was respect to ECW. You know what I'm saying? I'm a huge ECW fan. I saw my first ECW show in 1999 in the Elks Lodge in Queens, and Danny Doring was on the card, Danny Doring and Roadkill. And I remember seeing Danny Doring and Roadkill, seeing guys like Rob Van Dam, a lot of those guys. Dudley Boys was still there. So it was interesting for me. So having that background of ECW, now being the ECW King, now I have to get in the ring with Danny Doring. So Danny Doring and Roadkill, former ECW tag champions. I think they were the last holders of the tag titles, if I'm not mistaken, before ECW went under. So just watching him, I've seen him forever. So I've been watching him doing since 1999. He actually worked a couple NYWC shows because he's friends with Mikey Whipwreck. So I saw him at NYWC. I saw him and Roadkill at NYWC. I think they wrestled Apollo, my good friend Jeff. I think Jeff might have wrestled Roadkill on one of the shows years ago. So I've seen Danny Doring. I've seen Danny Doring. I've seen Roadkill. And actually, last time I saw Danny Doring was at Bull James's Outlaw show, maybe about 2 years ago. We were on the card together and had a good conversation with him. So I know exactly where he's coming from. I know his moveset. I'll be more prepared now. When I went against Ken Anderson, remember I was talking about my knee, worried about my knee. Now I'm not worried about my knee. My knee is good to go. It's 100%. So now I'm completely focused on Danny Doring and getting the job done on the 25th.
Now, let me ask you this. When you get past Danny Doring, what's next for Alvin and Battleground?
The winner of this title match. I want one with the winner. I want, if it's Crowbar or if it's Gangrel, I want either one of those two. I want the chant. I want the belt. Because if you're a member of the active roster, if you're a member of the active roster, which I am, there shouldn't be any other thoughts until championship. If you're a guy like if you're a hardcore guy like Drake Younger, guys like Masada, guys like Phil Insane, those guys, it's a street fight title. Those guys are not going to give up until they get that street fight title off Drake Younger. For the other members of the roster that aren't in the hardcore street fight stuff, we're looking at the world championship. Every female on the roster is looking at the women's championship. You know what I'm saying? That's where your head should be. You know what I'm saying? If it's not there, then why are you here? So once I re-signed my contract, my first thing was, all right, how can I get to Crowbar in this world title? And Danny Doring's the first person in my way, and Tim will keep putting the roadblocks in my way. Hopefully I keep knocking them down until I get that match with either champion, either Gangrel if he wins on the 25th, or to be Crowbar if he retains.
Now, let me ask you this now. Obviously, you being a lifelong wrestling fan, mm-hmm. If you would have told 10-year-old Alvin Alvarez watching Danny Doring on TV or in the ECW building that, oh, yeah, by the way, you could be working him in a match, would you have believed it?
Oh, man, I wouldn't, John. I think about that often. I think about that often, especially when I was hurt. When I was injured, I thought about that a lot. I sat in my backyard and I had my leg braced, I had my leg up, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, why? Like, why? Like, first of all, why am I hurt? But then what happens when I come back? So I answered those questions for myself, and then I said, man, I'm lucky. After a while of feeling sorry for myself, I say, you know what? I feel lucky. I feel lucky in this predicament. I can get back in the ring, hopefully. And it was just thinking like, man, like my first wrestling show was in 1997, live. So and that was WWE Raw, and it was just seeing some of the guys on that show, and some of the guys still wrestling today, like Jeff Jarrett, which is crazy. So some of the guys on that show I still see in the locker room, passing by, when I get AEW work. And it's a lot of those guys, it's just being in the locker room with guys like Tuco Scorpio. He's going to be there, I have Juventud Guerrera's phone number, which is crazy because I watched him and Chris Jericho from Super Bowl VIII in 1998 was one of my favorite matches when he took his mask off. One of my favorite matches growing up as a kid, and now I'm sitting here. I have his number in my phone. Like I have the Juice's number in my phone. It's just crazy. Stuff like that is wild,
It's one thing I will say, especially doing this show now for the last almost 4 years now, and the opportunity. It's weird how opportunities come to you.
It is.
In pro wrestling, it really is weird.
Well,
and I know you got Danny Doring coming up, but you also have sort of a bigger match coming up.
I do.
In September in Melville, a little closer to home, to say the least.
It is.
NWA.
Yeah.
You're taking on Brian Idol.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get to the match with Brian, what was going through your mind when you got told you're going to be making your debut for NWA?
John, it's a long time coming. I've been a huge NWA fan since. I've gone back and watched NWA stuff since the 1960s. You know what I'm saying? I've gone back and watched stuff from the 60s. I've watched Arn Anderson, Gene Anderson, the original Andersons. Actually, Ole and Gene I watched even before Arn. It was Ole and Gene I used to watch back in the day when they were NWA World Tag Champions. So my NWA history goes back a long time. Of course, as you know, I'm a big Arn Anderson fan, so he had the TV title for such a long time. So just looking at the NWA World Television Championship and thinking of its heritage and all the people that's held it, it's almost numbing, to be in that spot, not only making my debut for the National Wrestling Alliance, but then wrestling for one of their world championships. It's one of those speechless moments, John. It's one of those things where you don't know what to say. You just kind of look forward to it, hope time just slows down, and you just take every second of it and try to be in the moment for every second. But now, being in the ring, that alone, now we'll talk about Brian Idol. I have a history with Brian Idol as well, John, which you may not know of. So Brian Idol and myself, and Tony Nese, actually, from AEW, a lot of us used to wrestle in the backyard.
Okay.
So I'm sure you were. Me and Tony Nese used to wrestle together. We had our own little fed on Long Island, but then another fed came and wanted to wrestle with us, and Brian Idol was a member of that fed. I believe his wrestling name was Hans, his old backyard name, and he wrestled with us. So I've known Brian Idol since this was 1997, 1998. So I've known Brian Idol for almost 30 years, and he took his career and went on to do his thing with FTW and NWA. I went on to do my thing with NYWC and Ace and that stuff, and our paths kind of got away from each other. But now, crazy, they're back together.
Well, now I'm going to ask you this now. You had the match with Ken Anderson. I remember you said it, when we had you on Around the Ropes, that, it was one of the biggest matches of your career.
Yeah, it was.
Daddy coming up on October 25th.
Yeah.
I'm going to, again, put you on the spot here. Okay. Does the match with Brian top the match with Danny? As far as importance?
The only yes, well, it's an important one because Brian Idol is a fixture in the NWA. Like he's, I think, one of Bill Corgan's best friends. So this match with him means a ton. And I'm going to say Brian Idol more than one reason. That's one reason. Also, the other reason is what's around his waist, buddy. The NWA World Television Championship. So I can't. That match is. If I win, John. I'll bring the title to your house, John. And we're hanging out. Putting the title over your shoulder, and we're having burgers or something. Because if I win that belt, I'm going everywhere with it. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to knock on Arn Anderson's door, So that the belt is a lot. So, yes, that match means a lot more than Ken Anderson. Ken Anderson is by far, I think Brian will be okay with that. Ken Anderson is a worldwide superstar, a lot bigger than Brian Idol is. But that match was important with Ken, but this is more – match with Ken is more nostalgic.
Yeah.
Ken's still going strong. Don't get me wrong. Ken's still going strong, but – really, I wrestled against Ken Kennedy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's who was in my head was Mr. Kennedy. But Brian Idol, he's the current World Television Championship, and this is very important. Not only wrestling Brian, who's good friends with a lot of people in strong places, but he's also a tough competitor, and there's a reason why he has that belt. So it's a lot going into this match, but this match is definitely more important because I'm getting back in the ring with Brian, but also it could change my career because I could hold the NWA World Television title, and I'm not a contracted wrestler with the NWA. This is a I'm not contracted with the NWA, but if I had the NWA World Television title, guess what's coming next, John?
Contract.
The contract. So yeah, man, this is all. I'm all in.
Well, also I think it also has to do with the fact that it is on Long Island.
Yeah.
I think that might have a little bit also to do with it because not taking anything away from Philly. Philly's a great area. Don't get me wrong.
Of course.
But you're wrestling for the NWA title, basically in your backyard, in essence.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't get any bigger than that. And I already know for a fact I'm planning to be there for that show.
That's awesome. Cool.
I'm really planning. I've got it because I missed going to independent wrestling shows and wrestling shows overall.
Yeah, I remember you were there last year at All Sports.
Yeah,
you were there last year.
Yeah,
I was there on my knee brace, if you remember, my walker.
Oh yeah, no, I remember.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
But going back now briefly to Battleground before we wrap things up here for this episode here, other than your match, I kind of went through the matches before.
Yeah.
I know you said you have your eyes on the title match, but taking the wrestler out of the equation here for a second, the fan, what match are you looking forward to seeing other than your own as a fan?
Too Cold Scorpio. Masada, right? Too Cold Scorpio. I'm a huge fan of Too Cold Scorpio. I was on the same card as him when I wrestled Jason Knight, WrestleMania weekend a year and a half ago when we were in Philly. So I got a chance to speak with Too Cold Scorpio. I spoke with him a lot, and I'm excited to see his match. It was him and Juventud Guerrero. That's when I started talking to Juvi last year, but there was them two in the match. So that match was awesome. So I'm looking forward to seeing Too Cold Scorpio. I was supposed to be in the match with him last year, if you guys remember, with Sexy Next X Express was supposed to go against them. It was supposed to be David Cash, Gary Wolf, and supposed to be Too Cold Scorpio, but Matt Tremont subs for Too Cold Scorpio. So I'm looking forward to seeing Scorpio, man. I haven't seen him in a while. He's a good dude. He's like one of those dudes I always watch. Like, he innovative, man. I remember watching his old WCW stuff. Him jumping off the top rope, just turning his body. Like just easy stuff, but it was simple, but easy, but awesome to see. So excited to chat up with Scorpio.
It's funny you mentioned that match because I was on call for that match. I was calling.
Okay, good. Him and Ruby, yeah.
No, not him. No, the one that you saw, the 8-person.
Oh, yes. The Matt Tremont. Yeah.
I will say this again. We did not know Tremont was going to be the replacement. So if you go back and you watch the broadcast, and I think it was me and Kevin Gill who were on the call for that one.
Yeah.
And you hear our no, it wasn't Kevin. I forgot who it was. But our reaction is legit. Because we legit had no – it's not like we had any notes saying, oh, by the way, Tremont's the person. We had no idea. Yeah. So it was definitely – but I will say this much, Alvin. I've said this to you before. Mm-hmm. The way your career is going, I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
And I also have another moniker I was thinking about for you before.
Okay. All right.
Not only call you the ECW King, but call you the Comeback Kid.
There you go. Cool. Yeah, man. One match at a time. One match at a time. Hopefully I got a ton left in me. But we do one match at a time, and hopefully something leads to something. But mostly just living in the present, just living in the now, just living with my girlfriend and family, and just enjoying family. And then when the shows come, the lights are on, but just try to live in the moment there. Try not to look too far in the present. John. I try to stay right. I should look too far in the future. Try to stay right here in the present. Try to just live every day and just live in the moment. So I'm gonna take the Danny Doring match first. I'll take the Brian Idol match first. That's in 2.5 weeks. So that match is first. So I got to take care of that, and hopefully I can bring the NWA television title to Battleground.
Before we let you go, obviously, I'm glad we were able to get you on as the first official guest for the Battleground War Room.
That's awesome. Thank you.
What else do you have coming up that you'd like to promote?
So we have the match at All Sports. So I may be on the card for the night before. The NWA is going to be in Glendale the night before. I'm most likely going to be on that card as well, just not know who I'm wrestling. Mm-hmm. So we'll see me twice. See me Friday night and then Saturday night for the match with Brian Idol. Then we have October 11th. I'm back at Victory Pro Wrestling. I'll be there October 11th. October 18th, I'll be at Remarkable Pro Wrestling. And then the 24th, the day before, John, I make my debut for ISPW, International Superstars of Pro Wrestling. That's kind of cool. Independent Superstars of Pro Wrestling. So that's kind of cool. So I make my debut for ISPW the day before, the 24th. That's cool. So I'll be, and I think it's Parsippany, New Jersey, I think the show is.
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, that'll be fun. So a lot of cool debuts, a lot of cool matches. Like I said, John, I'm not really rushing, not really pushing the envelope, trying to stay in the present. Enjoy today, enjoy tomorrow, and then the 27th will be here before you know it.
I can't wait, and I will be there. And damn
Yeah,
well when you win that title.
Yep. I'm looking for you. I'm coming for you, and I'm putting it right around your shoulder, right around win.
I was gonna ask. Can I sneak a photo in with you?
Yeah, you sure can. You're the first person. As soon as I exit the ring, I'm looking right for you. If I win, absolutely.
But, Alvin, I'm glad we were able to get you on, guys. Again,
here, John.
Alvin Alvarez, in the NWA, but also you guys can catch him on October 25th, 7:30 start time, as he takes on ECW legend Danny Doring. If you're not in the Philly area, you can catch it on Triller TV. I can also announce now that there will be a pre-show for Battleground. And the host, I don't want to reveal who the host is yet.
Okay.
But I hear he knows how to go around the ropes.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
So
I'm excited. Looking forward to it.
See what happens. But guys, again, for Alvin Alvarez, I'm John. This has been the Battleground War Room. We'll catch you guys next time.
Grab your tickets now, NWA.